What's up and welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, June 15th, 2023. Of course, I'm Tim Geddes, and it is my pleasure to be joined by the voice of Clive, the main character of Final Fantasy XVI, Ben Starr.
Wow. I've seen these, obviously, from afar for a very long time, but they are powerful in real life. Those fog machines.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And they will definitely go off many times because that's what we like to do here in the spare bedroom. Ben, first off, your name is Ben Starr.
Yeah.
Like, that is just two R's in that, too.
Yeah. So that is my real surname as well. Like, some people think that, like, you know, when you're an actor, you change your name. No, that is my real name. But the problem is whenever I say it to people, they do think, is he a dickhead? Is he the person who changed his name to Starr? You know, his name's just like something very mundane. But no, my name is Starr with two R's. So good. They added a second R.
I absolutely love it. Just like I absolutely love you. Here's the thing. I had the pleasure of meeting you just a couple days ago at Summer Game Fest. But before that, me and you have been DMing a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And you revealed pretty early on that you're a legit Kinda Funny best friend.
Yeah. I think for the past 3 years, I think I've watched every single episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily.
And you're here now.
And here I am. Yeah. I mean, I kind of teased you with like, let Tim host, right? I was like, please, let him know that I'm a real fan.
I love it. I love it so much. I appreciate that, obviously. But like, more than that, I was talking to you this weekend at Summer Game Fest, and you blew my mind just talking about your taste in video games because like, you're in this shit.
Yeah, I'm well into it. So I've been playing games since I was, since I was a kid, but like since PlayStation 1, really hardcore. And it's my passion, it's my life, right? I am an actor, but like every other spare moment, I am trophy hunting on PlayStation.
What was the last game you got a platinum in?
Resident Evil 4 Remake.
What about before that?
You were talking about about Sonic Frontiers.
Sonic Frontiers. This man platinum Sonic Frontiers. That's where he's at.
Yeah. Or as I like to call it, there's a fish for that. The game where basically you can do anything just by fishing. It's like, it's not really about running around. It's like, just spend ages getting fish and then selling them and then leveling up. I loved it. I think that Sonic Frontiers was I was having Christmas by myself and I thought, what am I going to play? I love those lizard brain kind of games where you just go and collect for kind of no reason, but you're just going, yeah, I'm going to do it. I want to complete the map. I had so much fun. I loved it. I think you guys, you know, it's like a 7 out of 10 game that you love, like a 10 out of 10. That is Sonic Frontiers for me.
Yeah.
So, and I loved your hype for it. I mean, you're not wearing your chain.
Not today. But
I love that you guys love it in the kind of the same way that I love it.
So that's Bless. Frontiers was not my jam, actually. I wanted it to be, you know, but Bless is the one that loves that one.
Yeah.
Did you get to play Sonic Superstars?
No, I didn't, but I got really excited when I saw it at the games. So I was at the Games Fest opening, and I got really excited because I know that a lot of people have been hankering for that kind of Sonic feel, right? After Mania, everyone wants to go back to 2D. Yeah, I didn't.
Pretty good.
I mean, you played it, right?
I did. I got my hands on it.
You given your impressions on it?
Yeah. It's not quite as good as Mania simply because I feel like the art style and music is really like added so much to Mania, but it feels just like it. So I think from a gameplay perspective, this is going to be really, really, really good. I'm excited for it.
I mean, I'm not like a Sonic. There it is. I'm not like a Sonic kid. Like Frontiers is probably the first one that I actually have properly played. But this looks really cool, right? And I think for first timers and people who've never played them before, it looks like a game that I could probably really get into. So yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, I love games a lot.
Yeah,
I spent this year like playing a lot of like massively long RPGs. So I did Octopath Traveler 2. And an amazing game called Chained Echoes. I'm in my RPG era right now, playing stuff.
Chained Echoes is something that has never been brought up at this table. You want to talk about it for a sec?
Chained Echoes is an incredible RPG that kind of has like a throwback to Chrono Trigger. It is so cool. It's got this incredibly defined combat system. The art style is absolutely brilliant. Matthias Linder, who made it, you can see it there. It's made by this tiny team, and it's just gorgeous. And yeah, you see that kind of like beautiful kind of like 16-bit art style. The combat system is seamless when you go in and out of it, and they've really nailed it. It's so refined. The music's brilliant. Go and play it.
So you're out here platinuming video games left and right. You're playing all these RPGs since the PS1. It was your passion. It was your thing.
Yeah.
You're now the voice of the main character in a mainline Final Fantasy, and not just a mainline Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy XVI. I feel like there is so much on this one.
Yep.
The demo just came out a couple days ago. Everyone is loving it. Everyone at home, I've seen you tweeting about it. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
Tim, you were right after your preview. Like, this game is incredible. How is this all feeling for you right now?
It's really strange. And when you say that the pressure's on, thanks for that. That makes me feel so excited. I'm not really processing it. I'm having, I think I've said a lot, this out-of-body experience whereby, like, my favorite video game franchise of all time is Final Fantasy. Like, this is the video game franchise that got me into playing video games. 8 was my first, then I went and pretty much played all of them. And I understand the pressure that it's massive, because it means the world to me, these video games. I would have bought this game day one had I not been involved in it. And I just love the reaction that everyone's had to the demo. I'm finding it pretty surreal that it's been such a little secret for so long, and now I don't know how many people are playing that demo right now, but a lot of people are playing that demo, and a lot of people are loving it, or they're watching people play it. So yeah, it's cool, and the fact that I'm here with you makes it even cooler.
It's all this is awesome. Hey, you know what's even cooler is that after this game's daily, we're going to hang out and do the normal super chat thing with y'all, and he's going to come join us. So if you have any questions for Ben, please send them through and we will answer them here. And then after that, he's going to sit with Mike, who's going to play through the demo for the very first time. So we're going to have a lot of fun today here on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames and youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily, where we run you through all the video game news that you need to know. Today's stories include Sony doubling down on its strategy, Dead Cells gets an animated series, that is awesome, and more, because like I said, this is KFGD. If you're watching live, you can correct us when we get stuff wrong by going to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. If you don't want to watch live, you can watch later on YouTube or roosterteeth.com. And if you want to listen as a podcast, just search your favorite podcast service for Kind of Funny Games Daily, and we will be right there for you. If you want to go above and beyond, though, you're going to want to go to patreon.com/kindoffunny, where you can throw a couple bucks our way and get the show ad-free, get a whole bunch of bonus content, and you can be a Patreon producer, just like Casey Andrew, Delaney Twining, and James Hastings have done. Thank you all for your support. If you don't have any dollars to toss our way, that is totally cool. When you're on the Epic Games Store, please use our creator code Kind of Funny, and at no extra cost to you, we get some money. It's great. It helps us keep the lights on, and it's all fantastic stuff all around. A little housekeeping for you. It's summertime, baby. It's a buy two, get one free on the RT storefront with the code KFSUMMER at checkout. So you can go to store.roosterteeth.com to get any of our things. Buy two, get one free. Use the code KFSUMMER. Over on Patreon, a new episode of Kind of Feudy is up, where Bless asks us about Toys to Life games. Do I get played or do I come victorious? You'll have to watch and find out. I have been on a winning streak, though, so just know that. Today, we're brought to you by Honey Rocket Money, and a special thank you to Amazon Gaming and Summer Game Fest for partnering with us this showcase season. You can go to amazon.com/summergamefest all summer long to discover the top new and upcoming games. But that's enough about that. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 8 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
How's it feel on this
Yeah,
side?
that's cool. That's cool.
It's cool?
Yeah, it's really cool. Feels really good. Guys, it's like you'd expect it to be. It's nice.
There's a smell. You don't expect the smell, you know?
It's the smell of success, Tim, is what it is.
Thank you for that. Story number 1, Sony says it's not releasing its first-party games on PS Plus on day one, and it's working. This comes from Chris Scullion at VGC. Sony Interactive Entertainment still has no plans to put its first-party games on PlayStation Plus on the day of release, according to a key exec. In an interview with GamesIndustry.biz, Vice President and Global Head of Subscriptions, Nick Maguire, said the company has no interest in making all its first-party games available on day one like Microsoft does with Xbox Game Pass. Quote, "We're happy with our strategy. Putting games in a bit later in the life cycle has meant that we can reach more customers 12, 18, 24 months after they've been released. We're seeing customers still get excited about those games and jumping in. It's working. Occasionally, there'll be an opportunity to invest in a day-and-date release like Stray, and we will jump on those when they come in. But for us, letting those first-party games go out to the platform outside the service first, that's working, and that will continue to be our strategy moving forward." When asked if the strategy keeps titles in order to ensure a large audience for them at launch, Maguire didn't commit either way. We're constantly working out what the right strategy is moving forward. How are player habits going to evolve, and how do we make sure the service meets those future habits? There's no more I can say on that at this moment, but obviously we're keeping close to it and thinking about the role that Plus can play moving forward. Ben, does this surprise you at all?
No, of course it doesn't. PlayStation have laid out that store really, really early on, and they know exactly what they're doing, right? Like they make premium games. They want you to buy premium games in a premium way, and they're going to keep doing it. It's working for them. Like they've changed PS Plus. People are bought into it. The extra tier is worth it. Is the premium tier worth it? Like if you like those classic titles, but yeah, extra works for people. How many people played Stray when it came out? On the extra tier. It was because it was available at no extra cost. But the big titles, God of War, people are going to pay for them because they're amazing. And like why wouldn't you? They don't need to change their strategy. It's been made very clear this generation. Xbox are doing one thing, PlayStation are doing their own thing. Like we're just trying to figure out what works for them. It's like, if it ain't broken, it doesn't seem to be broken.
Exactly. I do think it's interesting to look at the other side of things of Xbox, of having Game Pass and seeing how much it has worked for them in the last couple of years where, quote unquote, they have no games, where it's like they do have this service and they have the ability to, the games they do have that they're putting out, be there day one, whether it's third party, them doing all the Persona partnerships and things like that with Atlas. Like that is huge, and they're kind of bolstering the greatest value in video games, right? It's still there. But with what we just saw from the Xbox showcase this weekend, the dominoes are about to start to fall.
I love
Hopefully.
it. Your dominoes will fall, Tim. They will fall one day for you, won't they? I just want to fight back. Xbox have games. No, they don't. They have so many games. People say, why is it the best deal in gaming? Because there are just so many amazing games that you can play at no extra cost on Xbox.
Yes.
It's just that good. If anyone asks me, it's like, what should I get into gaming? I always be like, well, PlayStation, you have this. Xbox, if you're not sure what you want, you can just pay a subscription and you don't even have to buy the box, right? You can just play on your Samsung TV. It's really, really cool. And I do think they make a lot of games available to people who otherwise wouldn't play them. Like the amount of people that play Pentiment, just because it was available to play. So yeah, I would push back and say there are no games. But people do want, you buy the box, you want those premium games. And I loved the Xbox showcase. I thought it was amazing. I mean, I shouted in the street when I saw Fable. I'm just so excited to play Fable. And I think because it just has that really brilliant British sense of humor that you're worried how is that going to translate into 2023. But yeah, it was hit after hit, and Starfield, man, like the size of that game.
So that's my thing is like I think they have no games thing. It's like clearly they do. And even this year, Hi-Fi Rush being a major standout for me, one of my favorite games of the year so far. I can't wait for more of that. But you know what we're talking about. They don't have the God of War level games. No. They don't have these big ones, but they're about to.
Yeah, they are about
to. Starfield is about to be day and date on this service. Fable, when it comes, day and date on the service. And they've already kind of, stuck their claim that every one of their first-party games will be there. And I wonder at what point that actually does affect Sony's strategy, if it ever will. I do think that they're still so far out from that the proof's in the pudding. Those games can't just be announced. They need to actually come out and be the quality levels that they kind of have to be in order to be on that same kind of pedigree. But I do think that we are about to enter a very interesting, like, let's say, what does 2025 look like?
Yeah.
When Xbox is releasing, hopefully, major quality titles 3-4 times a year with the Pentiments that are super quality but a little smaller peppered in, the Hi-Fi Rushes, like still in addition to the Starfields and the Perfect Darks and the Halos and the Gears on that level.
But I mean, I get the frustration, right? It's like in that time that you're waiting, you are still paying a subscription per month. So it's like, are you getting value for money on your subscription? So that's the worry. But like kind of maybe like pivoting a little bit back to PlayStation, I think they have this perfect model at the moment where you have the premium games, and then there are games that are still brilliant because they still have those smaller titles that they want to push. Like I'm so excited for Viewfinder. Like there are these games that they want to push and they can do because they have a platform that they have built that is incredibly popular that you can just put stuff on and make people play and enjoy. And if you don't have, PlayStation Plus Extra, you can still purchase it at a fee of whatever, $20, $30, and it's still worth it. Like PlayStation have this, what's currently working, hybrid model that they have no reason to change because
it's working.
Because it's working and it's premium content, and they want you to know it's premium content by saying, pay $70 for it or whatever it ends up being.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's you bringing up the Samsung TV thing. When I was down at Summer Game Fest recently, last year I got to do the demo of the Samsung gaming hub integration. And this year I got to play a little bit and see like the next iteration, some of the things that they've added. And this is now almost a year removed from it being available for people just in the public, in the wild. And it is so impressive how much it works. It's still not perfect. I'm a tech guy that cares about things being perfect and like hardwired internet and all that stuff. And because of that, like this is never going to be my preferred way to play these games. But the idea that I can be playing a game downstairs and then want to go upstairs because Gio wants to use the big TV, and I can go upstairs and use, at this point, multiple different entry points to play Xbox games. That is really, really impressive for the level that it works. And I was so impressed with, I was doing the demo and they're like, oh yeah, play Fortnite. Yeah. And I played Fortnite and there was like 3 different setups they had. One was like a computer monitor, one was a TV, and one was on just like a laptop thing. And you go in and it's that cloud-based, so you click it, don't even need to download, you're just playing. And I was like, I'm not a Fortnite guy. Yep. So after the third time of me having to play Fortnite, I was like, I'm going to pop over to Hi-Fi Rush and see what this is about. And I thought they were going to be like, no, don't do that. Because Hi-Fi Rush, rhythm game. Like, you can't have the latency. It needs to be perfect. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And they're like, yeah, go for it. That surprised me. Yeah. I hit play, took 2 seconds, game loads up, and I was playing. I'm like, it's definitely there's some latency, but you can wrap your mind around it and it still works. I was blown away by that. And I was playing it when it was connected hardwired, and I was like, this totally works. This is great. Then later when I was playing, it was on a thing that was completely wireless. Yeah. And I'm like, we're on Wi-Fi at Summer Game Fest. There's no way that this is a great signal right now. And it was more than playable for a rhythm game, not the way people should be playing that. Nope. So I just think that if we're here now in 2023, where is this just going to evolve to? Where once the hit games are coming out for Xbox, the smaller games are coming out for Xbox, Game Pass is still there, xCloud is better than it's ever been. Yep. That's going to be such a dominant potential for the gaming industry at large. And I also love that PlayStation, even if that's all true, doesn't need to change a thing because what they're doing is working. And if they continue that, it will still be working. I do think it's important to bring in the live service games they're talking about, these multiplayer games, Marathon, and all the other ones that they talked about, the Haven Studios game, everything they talked about at the PlayStation Showcase. They even brought up here of like, don't you want a bigger user base, right? And I do think that I expect that these games will be day and date on PlayStation Plus.
Yep, interesting. Like I think that what was made very clear in that PlayStation Showcase, which Final Fantasy XVI also showed up, by the way. Like that trailer. Hey, always on brand.
Hell yeah.
There are they set out their stall, right? Of like this is going to be a part of what the PlayStation ecosystem is going to be. This isn't the what we would consider to be the AAA third person action adventure story based things that a lot of people come to PlayStation for. And I think I could sense afterwards, and you guys as well, you spoke about it. It wasn't a highly rated showcase because it was something that seemed different. It didn't seem PlayStation. But I think that's because we weren't able to see the other things that are surrounding that. And I think it's great that you see PlayStation diversifying in that way. Not every game can be played by every player. Like, we forget that, like, we're not going to like all video games. And I think they've realized that there is a niche here that they want to reach as many people as possible. And they've gone, right, we've cornered that market. We're always going to make amazing third-person games. People are always going to come to us for that. What about live service? How do we make that accessible? And I'm interested to see which ones that do come like day and date to that. Because as we know, money isn't made on these things when you purchase them with the initial purchase. It's the billions of pounds or dollars that they make from FIFA Ultimate Team or whatever, or Fortnite making this monthly revenue, Grand Theft Auto Online. That's where the money's made. Get them in. Apex Legend is probably the best example of that I've ever seen. You know, a game that no one really knew about, bam, available to everyone, and then suddenly it's still one of the most profitable games of all time. So it wouldn't be a surprise if they do that. And I think they're prepping themselves up to increase the diversity of players on their platform.
Yeah. And that, you're right, it is only a good thing, but you got to bring the goods. You can't just have a thing that makes money. You got to have a good thing that makes money and that people actually want to pay for because they're getting something from the product. And that's what we see from things like Fortnite and Apex and Destiny. But even all of those to this day have problems. But the thing is, they listen to the community. Yeah. And I feel like you see the feedback, you see the oh, we tried this. Oh, we're taking it back a bit.
Yep.
Or now we're going to take this a little further. Like, I do think that when you look at some of the big ones, the live service games that
Yep.
can actually survive, it is the ones that listen to the feedback. And PlayStation right now are in a place looking at their first-party studios. I'm really hoping that they're looking at the feedback of what everyone else is doing and that they're going to put their best foot forward
Yep.
because you only get one first impression.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they need to knock it out of the park because if they put out one of these that works and that the PlayStation audience can wrap their head around, they can just apply that to the rest of them. And then all of a sudden, they have something where it is this ongoing
PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, bring it back, make it happen.
That's what we need. Let's make it good this time, though.
Yeah.
Let's make it good this
Yeah.
time. Moving on to story number 2. The Last of Us comes to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. Naughty Dog tweets out, "We're thrilled to announce The Last of Us will be part of Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. Prepare to encounter clickers, hunters, and more as you step into the world of Kiloo at Horror Nights and Horror Nights Orlando later this year." This is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Have you ever done any of the Halloween Horror Night stuff?
No, I haven't. No,
I have not. Would you be interested in that?
I would. I mean, I am so easily scared. I'm just the worst at horror things, and I kind of love being scared. It's that kind of like terrifying. I don't want to do it. Oh my god, it's amazing, and you feel that rush. Yeah, I mean that sounds amazing, right? It's one of the biggest IPs in the world right now. Why would you not cash in? Everyone's talking about it. People I come up to me being like, "Oh, you're in Final Fantasy XVI. Great, yeah, I've seen that Last of Us." Like people who don't understand video games at all, they say The Last of Us, and it's become ubiquitous. Like people who don't have any understanding of PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, whatever, they're just like, yeah, this is it. And it's such a brilliant TV show. It's such a brilliant story. They've done an amazing job. Why would you not cash in?
And what an amazing moment for video games. Like, we've seen it now. We've had a couple hit movies, a couple hit TV shows, and more on the way. And for it to be The Last of Us that kind of had this big cultural moment that even the non-gamers now understand video games in a completely different way. Like, the amount of stories we have, like Andy always talks about, like his mom and dad, like watching him play the opening of Last of Us 1 before they ended up watching the TV show. And they're just like, this is what video games are? Like, how is that possible? Those moments are happening for so many people out there. And I think that, like, this is only going to continue that. Like, we're seeing the video game kind of domination across all media. And again, when the quality's there, it's going to speak loudly. And I feel like Horror Nights it's an institution. People love that stuff. And I feel like they've been kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to movie franchises and things the last couple of years with some of their additional franchises. Moving into video games, and I think they've even done video games before. I think there was a Five Nights at Freddy's one, but this is awesome. And you can imagine how terrifying it could be. Them talking about the clickers, cool, that's one thing. Hunters?
Terrifying.
I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah. Oh, like I think that we kind of forget, I forgot anyway, that The Last of Us has actually got horror elements to it. Because we do, when we talk about that game, we talk about the story, we talk about the heart. It's like, you know, Joel and Ellie, that's the story of The Last of Us, because they always do focus on the human aspect of it, the human cost. And then you go, oh yeah, it's also like one of the most terrifying things. And a clicker is probably the most astonishing creation in video games in the past, like 10 years. The noise of that
sound design, man,
it's
terrifying.
It's so amazing. And I think they've really nailed it. And I wouldn't want to go because I think I'd be too scared.
Yeah.
I'd probably piss myself.
Yeah, I've never done it, but I want to. We don't have a Universal near us. We do have what they call Great America near us, and they do a Halloween thing, and it ain't it, y'all. It's really sad. Not good at all. Moving on to story number 3. Staying in line with games transitioning over to different mediums, Dead Cells is getting an animated series. This comes from Tom Ivan at VGC. Motion Twins announced a Dead Cells animated series following years of requests. The series is being made by Bobby Pills, the French studio behind the game's animated trailers, and co-produced by anime streaming service Animation Digital Network. It'll consist of 10 roughly 7-minute episodes and will launch next year in France before being made available worldwide. The show takes place on a cursed island that's been racked by a strange plague, according to the description accompanying a teaser trailer. After the island's foolish king develops a remedy that ends up turning the population into monstrous creatures, prophecies depicting a flame-headed hero who will kill the crazy king begin to appear. And so it happens, this beheaded hero is real, but saving a kingdom isn't on his schedule, and he just wants to be left alone. Well, guess who isn't going to be left alone?
Him.
Did you play Dead Cells?
No, I didn't. And I was talking to Cam Hawkins about 4 days ago, and that man was telling me about how much he loved the Dead Cells Castlevania
Incredible
thing, and how he gave it I think he gave it a 10 at IGN. He was saying
he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's one of the greatest collaborations in video game history. It's like you see two things and you're like, yeah, those would go good together, and then they're like, hey, here's them together, and you're like, it's even better than I thought.
Yeah, I like it speaks for itself. Really, no, I haven't played it. I feel like a dick for not having played it. But yeah, why not? It's we when you have an established IP that people really seem to love. This is, just look at the art style, right? It's absolutely ripe for turning into something like this.
Absolutely, and they're already doing it, right? Like it being the same team that's already done the animated shorts and teasers for this, I think is awesome. I would highly recommend you play this. I know you have a long flight ahead of you at some point, and it's available everywhere. So Dead Cells is one of those games where I first played it on the way to a wedding that was in Minnesota. So I had a pretty long flight, and I was just like, I'm just going to try this out and see, because IGN gave it a 10. And I was like, and that's a whole story to itself. But I was like, I'm gonna give this thing a shot. Started playing it, and then the plane landed. And I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
I've been playing this for 6 hours. Like, I am addicted to this. And then that was all I could think about the entire weekend. Dead Cells is very, very, very good.
Well, I think
very difficult.
But that's the thing, right? With roguelites, they that's what happens with them. You just get completely absorbed with one more run. It's a roguelite, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not talking about else.
And it's totally the one more run type game.
Yeah, it's one more run. I mean, I like, you know, the first roguelike that I really got into, obviously, like everyone else around, late bloomers to it, but it was Hades for me. And I had the one more run. I mean, I rinsed that game for all it was worth. So I understand that feeling. Then I went into Returnal and did exactly the same thing. So I can be a glutton for punishment with that. But like Dead Cells, when people say you like those two games, go play Dead Cells.
Dude, that's the answer, man. Dead Cells was my first. Hades was the next one.
Great.
Returnal ended up being a little too hard for me. But yeah, here's the thing with Hades. Can you imagine a Hades animated thing?
I mean, I can, and I would like it, please. So if you could do that, I do think we have seen the power of cross media right now with this stuff. Like we saw it with Cyberpunk, like how I mean, I wasn't going to play Cyberpunk, and then I watched Edge Runners, and I was like, I'm downloading this. Like it brings people in who wouldn't not necessarily think of it as a game. It was the same with Arcane, right? That TV show, I just went, what? There are characters, and this is a game, and obviously I'm not going to go and get into that world. That is
a little too much.
A little too much for me. But the power of that to at least introduce people to a world that seems more palatable and doesn't have that sense of restriction because you do have to like play a game or buy a console for it. Like this is a really great way in, and I love that this is kind of happening more and more and more with these properties, and companies are recognizing the power of the stories within these properties as well.
Absolutely. I think Arcane is such a great example of that, like you were saying, because it is a genre of game that is not going to appeal to many gamers out there because it's just a little too different. But I feel like it is that nice bridge of like, well, hey, give it a try. Maybe it is for you. You might think it's not for you, but it might be. And just the familiarity with the characters when the quality level is as high as Arcane was, right? And Edge Runners as well. Like that, those are incredible shows, and their art styles are stunning. It makes you interested in League of Legends in a way that you definitely were not before. And if you are into League of Legends, it's your great I told you so moment. In the same way that so many of us with Last of Us were able to, our friends and family, be like, this is video games. I told you it's this good. And that feels good. You know what I mean? And I just feel like it's celebrating. It's the opposite of gatekeeping. It's welcoming people in and giving people opportunities to have a touchstone, especially for some things that might be a little more difficult. Like Dead Cells might be too hard for people, but you might be able to watch the show and be like, oh, I enjoy it. And I'm getting something out of this. And I understand so much of what makes games special to me is the music and the atmosphere and the voice acting and things like that. That could be applied to a show. It doesn't need to be a game.
I think we're just going to see more and more of this because, you know, as TV, as content is needed more, and I use the word content specifically, like there's this voracious need for people to consume whatever it is because it's quite transient. We watch something and then we just throw it away, right? We've done it, we've watched it, we move on. Have you done this yet? Have you done this yet? And we're getting to a point where you can't create new IP quick enough. So where are we going to go? We're probably going to go to the richest kind of like unmined place of IP, which is video games, and going, well, they already have an established audience. We can bring them in and we can create new audiences for it as well. So I think it kind of works both ways. And I think with the success of, Castlevania as well, like the success of obviously the Mario movie. So it's Mario for me. I'm English.
We have Twisted Metal coming out soon.
Yeah.
Get hyped, everybody.
Everyone's hyped for Twisted Metal. It's just going to happen more and more as people recognize that these are things that you can make with worlds and inbuilt audiences. That means you're already going to get an audience for it. I mean, you see it on Netflix. You see the churn out, right? You see amazing TV shows, one series done, because the algorithm is saying, what's new? I want the next hit show. And if they don't have the next hit show, they'll throw it away and then create the next hit show. And if they know that video games work, then that's where they're going to go.
Yeah.
And hopefully they do them justice.
And even then, The Witcher on Netflix, which is even more interesting idea where it's not based on the game, it's based on the book, but the game's based on the book too, so it feels like a video game show, even though it's not technically, but it's like, it kind of counts and kind of doesn't. Like, I just like that that's where we're at now, where things don't need to be clean. It can just, it can be whatever it needs to be quality-wise, and then that's going to affect people the way that it's going to. I saw some people in the stats saying, Tim, millions of people play League of Legends. No, I know that.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Venn diagram of people that play League of Legends and the people that play the majority of the games we've talked about today, there's not that many. There are some of them for sure, but I feel like if you play League, that's what you play.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those games. It's your life game.
Yeah, but we're in a world of life games now. Everyone's playing a life game. You can't just, when people play Fortnite, oh, that's the game that I play, because that is the game where everything's in it, that you can do it. Like, people are constantly trying to make the next life game, and that's impossible, because if someone's life is already dominated by one game, how are you going to draw back into it? And in for a penny, in for a pound, these people, if you've been in for 3 years and you've got all the skins in that, you're not going to walk away from something. So that becomes what you primarily play. We talk about it. When I speak to gamers, and I say, what do you play? It'll usually be in the UK, it'll be FIFA and it'll be Call of Duty, because that's what they have the time to play. So getting into new stuff can be impenetrable. And like, League of Legends, if you play that, man, you live and breathe it.
Thank you so much. I need to let everybody know that this morning, thank you, Nick. This morning I got my friend Kat, my friend Ben, some coffee from Starbucks. I got myself, as you guys know, my Trent iced coffee like I always get. Getting out of the car in the parking lot, my drink falls over. We have a curse here at Kind of Funny. I don't know if you guys saw. Not one, not two.
I did.
But 3 coffees were dropped at Summer Game Fest. Thank you so much. And it was not on purpose, obviously. But here we are now. Thank you, Barrett.
You came in bereft this morning. It was like you were like a shell of yourself when you came in. You couldn't believe what had happened.
I need an excessive amount of liquid in me at all times. And this is liquid that runs me. But you know what runs Kind of Funny? Ads. Here's a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Amazon and Summer Game Fest. We are in an absolutely stacked year of video game releases, and you can find all of them on Amazon.com/SummerGameFest. I hope that you found a spare few hundred hours to play all the amazing games that have come out this year already. Gamers have been eating good this year, but this is the only place you want to be. Amazon.com/SummerGameFest, because guess what? This summer, there's going to be even more exciting announcements coming through of so many more video games that are about to be on all of your favorite consoles, like Final Fantasy XVI, Armored Core 6, Diablo 4, Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, Exo Primal, Assassin's Creed Mirage. The list goes on and on. You can go to Amazon.com/SummerGameFest all summer long to discover the top new and upcoming games as soon as they go up for pre-order, or you can go check out the website now for everything you might have missed so far this year. Again, that's Amazon.com/SummerGameFest for all of your video game needs. Today's episode is sponsored by PayPal Honey, the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer. But did you know it only takes a few seconds to get it? That means if you go to add it on your laptop or iPhone right now, you could be done before the ad read is even over. You know how good it feels to check something off of your to-do list, so hey, let's get to check-in. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies suggest the best one it finds to your cart. So imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite websites out there, and when you check out, the Honey button appears, and all that you have to do is click apply coupon. Kinda Funny's been using Honey for years. It's literally saved us thousands of dollars on tech, food, costumes, ton of stuff. Honey doesn't just work on desktop. It works on your iPhone too. You just activate it on Safari on your phone, and you get to save on the go. Getting Honey seriously only takes a few seconds, and by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. Get PayPal Honey for free at joinhoney.com/kindafunny. That's joinhoney.com/kindafunny. We all love gobbling up content, and we have an understanding of what subscriptions we use. Or do we? Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions when the actual total is closer to $200. That's right. You could be wasting hundreds of dollars each and every month on subscriptions you might not even know about. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and it helps lower your bills all in one place. Rocket Money has saved some of us here at Kinda Funny a ton of money, and it can help you too. Rocket Money also helps you manage all your finance in one place, and it automatically can help categorize your expenses so you can easily track your budget in real time. Stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. That's rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. One more time, rocketmoney.com/kindafunny. Rocket Money, kinda funny. I love how much hype there is in the chat for you being here, and also how much hype there is in people in the chat for me being able to be here with you.
Really?
It's like, this is just so cool for Tim.
Really?
And I'm like, you guys are right. This is
it really cool for you?
cool.
Because this is really cool for me. I feel like we're having a bit of a love-in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
so excited to meet you. I listen to this show every day at the gym. Like, that is you are literally the soundtrack to my workout.
And that's the difference between these two people sitting here right now. He listens to things at the gym. I don't have time to listen to anything ever because I'm never out there.
Well, if you want, I can create a soundtrack and you can just listen to me in the gym.
I mean, it's kind of just Final Fantasy 16,
Yeah,
right?
great,
Just playing that demo over and over and over.
Yeah, I'm not going to say what happens in the demo, but maybe you don't want to listen to all of it.
Yeah. That's a good call.
Some of it's quite hard to listen to.
Story number 4. Forza Studio Turn 10 is working on a new car customization game for mobile. This comes from Jordan Midler at VGC. Forza developer Turn 10 Studios is collaborating on a new standalone car customization game for mobile. London-based mobile racing game developer Hutch, who made Rebel Racing, F1 Clash, and Top Drives, is leading development of the title, with creative input and guidance being offered by the Xbox studio. There was no mention of the game's name or release window in Thursday's announcement, with the companies promising to reveal the title fully in due course. Our philosophy for game development is mobile first, with gameplay experiences that work for players on this platform. We're committed to creating strategic games that enable our community of players to celebrate their passion for cars. This is pretty interesting when you look at it as a first party making a mobile game.
So just get me right, this isn't a racing game. This is you just customize cars.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of feels like something that you wouldn't necessarily do on your console, but something that you can, mindlessly do. But you have a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes, you can do it on your phone. That's great, right? It's like ultimately these things they want you to engage in as many ways as possible. It makes sense that you would do that, but yeah, first party, man.
It's interesting because it's like what you're talking about, like the mode. How much time do people spend on Netflix just blading through the options and not even watching something? Like, that's an event to its own. Is that good? Is that bad? Probably leans bad, but it's something people do.
Yeah.
When you think about video games, we have a lot of friends out there, Fran Marabella, who spends more time in menus than he does actually playing video games for things like The Division.
Yeah.
Or when you can kind of tweak every little tiny thing. I remember playing Need for Speed Underground and spending just as much time customizing my car as I did racing it, or playing certain RPGs where I boot it up and I'm like, I know I'm never even going to beat this game, but I spent 3 hours in the character customizer, right? Like, I feel like this actually is a surprisingly good idea for
really good idea.
mobile or otherwise. But to have it be mobile, I'm like, I like where mobile games are going, where there is kind of a new standard of, it's not just Angry Birds and it's not just taking an IP that we know and making it Angry Birds. It's like, it could be so much more. Like, I was recently playing and talking about Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and still have many questions about what that game actually is. But from what I played, I'm like, this is kind of the dream.
I think maybe developers are realizing what can actually be what mobile can actually be used for. I think maybe at the beginning, when you had these powerful machines at your fingertips, you wanted to create a one-for-one facsimile of a video game that you would play on your 55-inch TV, and it just isn't as good. It just isn't as good. Especially when the touchpads don't work. You know, I have fat thumbs. Like it's just not possible. So it's like, how do we extend that gameplay experience to mobile? And we've kind of gone through these growing pains, and now we're seeing stuff like that's cool. Like, what was the Resident Evil save room game where it's literally just you? It's not actually Resident Evil. It's just the idea of it being Resident Evil, and you just assort you have the items and you have to put them inside.
Oh, that's so
the
funny.
case.
I didn't see this.
This is like a really popular game. I think it maybe came out like last year or 2 years ago, and people love it. It's just like increasingly complex items that you just got to shove in your case for Resident Evil.
That is hilarious.
Because people want to do it. Like, I spent hours on Persona 5 Royal just like organizing my personas, just sitting there, just mindlessly doing it because I just wanted to do that, right? Unpacking as well, a game where you just put stuff in place. People want things to be in the right order, in the way that they want it, and they want to be seen. And I imagine what's the most powerful thing on Fortnite is how you look, how your character looks. They understand that aesthetics are really important.
Mm-hmm.
So what you've got here is the opportunity to create a car, design it how you want, share it. Sharing. You'd want to show what your car looks like. And you know that when that comes out, there's going to be a hashtag that is this, and everyone's going to be sharing what their cars are, and it's going to look really cool. Like, it makes sense. They're onto something here.
And the fact that it's from Turn 10, like it's Forza. It's not just, oh, it's a car customization thing. Like you like this mode in these games. It's like, no, this is like from, at this point, the premier racing game.
It's going to be the best looking car customization you've ever seen in your life.
On mobile,
yeah.
Right? And you're talking about the touchscreen and all that stuff. Like that is all clearly still a problem. But I think that we're almost through the point of there being more than enough options for you, whether it's the backbone controller attachment or just Bluetooth controllers. Like, I feel like this was the generation where Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, those controllers can work on mobile and work across systems and way easier than they ever have. You might need to buy a Bluetooth adapter or something like that, but like small investments can make your mobile gaming console gaming.
Yes. I would also say that the words here are Forza developer Turn 10 Studios is collaborating on a new standalone car customization. They're obviously not going to be the ones that are, they might be leading it, but it's like when you do a press release like this, right, you want to know that what's the stamp of approval? Turn 10's all over it. They're going to have the power of veto, but you know that they're not going to be taking away from them developing the next Forza game.
Exactly.
They're the ones that like other teams, very talented teams, go away and make it. They then bring it to Turn 10 and go, is this what we want? Yes. Tweaks. Seal of approval. Off you go. So yeah, pretty cool.
Absolutely. Moving on, story number 5. 4 new PSVR2 games have been announced from the PlayStation blog. You know, every once in a while, PS blog will just do a dump out of nowhere of like, hey, like we're going to talk about indie games, and they just announce 13 of them or whatever. Nice. So here we are. Today we announced 4 new titles making their way onto PSVR 2 in the near future. Below, you can enjoy the reveal trailers plus additional details about new games such as Pixel Ripped 1995, Tiger Blade, and Seventh Guest VR, plus get the first look at the debut, PSVR 2 debut of the critically acclaimed Wanderer, The Fragments of Fate. Barrett, I'm going to go game by game here. If you can bring up Tiger Blade. Thank you very much. Tiger Blade brings all the stylish, adrenaline-soaked combat of the very best of Korean neo-noir action cinema to PSVR 2. Slash and blast your way through ranks of hoodlums in a high-stakes chase through the atmospheric and meticulously recreated marketplaces, docks, alleys, and streets of Sewon. Tiger Blade is designed to be highly the internet down.
Oh my God,
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
We always know there's a problem going on when the chat just starts being all F. Plane back.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh yeah, what a stupid question.
I don't know why, Tim. I don't know why you're asking me this. It's like, stop asking such stupid questions.
Where are you at?
I'm really not that far at all. I would say that I am like I literally started it on the plane over, so this is really, really, really early.
Awesome.
I had to hold back because I was doing so many other things. I was filming and I didn't have access to it. I was doing Metroid Prime just love how quick it was for the time to penis on that game. That is just absolutely remarkable.
Of course.
I was enjoying.
New record, probably.
Now we're at the point where I feel so intimidated because I just see everyone's like mega mechs, like they've entirely recreated Metal Gear Solid in that game. But yeah, I can't wait to have my 11-hour flight back and just really, really get into it.
I can't believe it. Like, it's just such a mind-blowing game where I was really scared about it because Breath of the Wild I absolutely love, but I traditionally not a big open world guy. I like more linear experiences. I like things that are a little bit more designed. And the more they talked about Tears of the Kingdom with the building and things like that, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And oh man, I'm hooked. I am just so in. I'm similar to you, like not nearly as far as I want to be.
Yeah.
I'm about 50 plus hours in, and I've only done like 1/4 of the main story stuff. And I'm like, so happy that I still get to play this game like forever. It feels like
it's going to be your forever game. It feels like the game that you can, because the story isn't a necessarily propelling feature within the game. It's that sense of exploration that everyone wants out of a video game. And, it can be the game that you can play for a bit, put it aside, play something else, come back to. And I think this year is so... I really think this year is going to be up there with, like the 1998s, the 2004, like those years in video games 100%. Where we go, these are kind of some of the genre-defining video games that shape what the next generation of games are going to look like. And this year really has just been hit after hit. It's both a celebration of the past with the remakes of Dead Space and Metroid, Resident Evil, like these games where we recognize what's come before, and then we've also got like a look at the future of like what's possible. Final Fantasy XVI, Zelda, Diablo, Street Fighter VI, Hi-Fi Rush.
We have Starfield. We have Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man
still on
2,
the way.
and all the games that we don't know about.
On the indie side, Viewfinder.
I'm Plucky Squire, which I'm just like super excited about. Like we are being served so many brilliant games. Whether it be on the indie side or whether it be on the AAA side, and I'm so intimidated, but feel so lucky to be kind of a part of this period in game. That trailer at SGF it blew my mind, and the fact that people got to play that, I don't know how it plays.
Andy and Bless played it.
If it plays as good as it looked, that was just amazing.
Alan Wake 2. All right, y'all. Yeah. This is going to be a big year. But taking it back a little bit here, let's go back to Wanderer. Barrett, if we could do that. There we go. Yeah, so this is what Wanderer looks like. It's a remake of the award-winning, critically acclaimed Wanderer, completely reimagined for the next generation of VR. That was quite the transition there.
Whoa, yeah.
And then next up, we have Pixel Ripped 1995. You can experience the nostalgia of the golden era of gaming like never before. This wacky adventure is a game within a game as our virtual hero Dot sets out to restore balance across various dimensions. The solution is to recruit the best gamer of 1995, an 11-year-old named David. Your quest will see you explore a range of games, each designed as a loving homage to 16-bit and 32-bit classics. Very cool.
Yeah, it's
love that. Cool. And then the final one's The Seventh Guest VR. We're thrilled to announce that the iconic 90s supernatural mystery, The Seventh Guest, is being brought back to life with cutting-edge PSVR2 technology, new spaces to explore, and with a new technical benchmark of its own, 3D live-action graphics by way of ghostly volumetric video capture.
That looks very cool.
Cool. But yeah, cool. PSVR2. Are you a VR guy at all?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Could anything get you to be?
Nope. I think VR is a super important thing for the progression of video games, and I love that that PlayStation do it. I love that you have so many people out there who are pushing it forward, and I think it's really important tech, and I think it's really important for players to get to do that if they want. I get sick really easily, so I just don't do it. Like, I have limited playtime as is, and I have a very small house, so it's just not possible. But again, people don't just make games for me, and they don't make games just for you. They make games for people who want to play that. And I think the fact that Sony are really pushing PSVR2, they're releasing new games for it. maybe it didn't have that initial push that people wanted, but that if they keep creating stuff that people want to play, then go for it.
This is it. I hope we keep seeing this, right?
Yeah.
I hope that like PSVR2, not for me, but it is for people out there. Trust me, we see the comments. There's a dedicated audience out there that loves PSVR2 specifically, and I hope that they're well fed. And I want to see more of these blog posts, hopefully on like some type of monthly cadence or something of just these cool experiences, because those 4 games we just saw, at least 2 of them, I'm like, I'm kind of interested in that.
And also, like, amazing devs make them, and devs who work incredibly hard on these games who should be celebrated and who will then go on to make a game that maybe you do play. So I think their work should be celebrated. So, yeah.
Story number 6. This is another one that we hate to have to talk about, but it's 2023. Subway Surfer Studio, Kiloo Games lays off staff before July closure. This comes from Justin Carter, a game developer. Danish developer Kiloo Games is closing down. On LinkedIn, design director Thomas Frolick says the studio's 100-person staff was served with a warning about termination by the end of the month. I'm grateful for all the great people I've met along the way, either internally or in collaborations with other studios. Thank you to all my colleagues for the experiences we've shared. Thank you to all the players that have enjoyed our game, and thank you to Kiloo for all the learnings. His statement's further corroborated by other employees on LinkedIn who said that they were looking for work. Kiloo was founded in 2000 by Jacob Moeller and was later joined by his brother Simon to run the company. Over the decades, the developers developed mobile games for brands like Lego, Worms, and Denmark's 1990 franchise Hugo. In 2012, it released Subway Surfers, an endless runner for iOS that was co-developed by SYBO Games. Following its release to Android the same year, it became extremely popular and had over 1 billion downloads in early 2018. I hate that these stories just keep happening.
Yep.
And here's even one of the biggest mobile games of all time. And granted, we're many years away from its peak, but still 1 billion downloads in 2018. That's not that long ago.
Nope, but it shows you how much has changed since 2018 and how much the industry is constantly in flux. Like, you can be the biggest thing in the world for 2 years and then disappear.
Yeah.
Like, it's just sucks, really, doesn't it? Because people who work really hard on stuff, they get celebrated, the fat cats at the top get all the money, and then that kind of basically this happens. So I don't know. It's bad, and all you have to say is I hope people manage to find work as a result.
Yeah.
And things move on. But yeah, I listen to all these episodes. It's pretty much all you hear every single day, basically, is another layoff, and that's a shame.
Yeah, definitely is. Obviously, our hearts go out to all of you. And also, I know there's a kind of funny best friend that runs the social account for them, because when we had our hellish plane ride back here, where we were stuck on the plane for like 5 hours, and Greg went live on the Instagram, Subway Surfers was replying to us.
Yeah.
It was like, that's really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, an unfortunate timing on all of that.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Story number 7, Star Ocean, the second story R remake leaked. This comes from George Yang at IGN. A logo for Star Ocean, the second story R, is leaked via Square Enix's support website. Spotted by RPG site, the banner with the logo was found on Square Enix's official support site, but since been taken down. The link that leads to the logo now shows a box with the words "no image." Star Ocean, the second story, is the second game in developer Tri-Ace's Star Ocean series, which is published by Square Enix. The game was released for the original PlayStation in '98. An enhanced version of the game, Star Ocean Second Evolution, was released in 2008 for PSP.
Yeah.
You a Star Ocean guy?
I'm not a Star Ocean guy, but I am a Square Enix guy. So, my Lord and Savior Square Enix, thank you for that. And I would never do anything to suggest or imply that any such leak existed. And I thank you for employing me for so long. This stuff happens. It's unavoidable, right? 2023. Like, I'm amazed that, people want to know information. We all know information. I think it's a shame when stuff like this can happen. We don't know when that's going to come out. Devs are working on it. They want to release it at the right time. They would never tell me anything about anything, so I can't, corroborate whether this is true or not. But it's a shame.
You being a PlayStation guy, you being an RPG guy, would you be interested in getting into Star Ocean?
Oh my God, yeah, massively. I really love RPGs, but RPGs take a long time to play, and I do have a life, so it's about me picking what I play when I play it. But yeah, it looks cool, man. There's so many games this year that I need to play that my backlog is just filling up. But I remember seeing these and thinking, how is some of this possible? Like, the scope of Star Ocean back in the day just seems completely I'm sorry, you're talking about what? You're talking about like galaxies and universes and people are traveling? That seems Crazy.
That was back in the day when video game magazines, like the level of quality of an RPG was how long is it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, it's not even 100 hours. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about this one.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it. But yeah, look, 1998. It's got an amazing pedigree. People are excited for the next one. It's a shame. It's a shame this got leaked. But yeah, I mean, I'll play it. Go on.
Exciting is coming.
Yeah.
Story number 8. Kojima's hanging out with Nic Cage. I love that Hideo Kojima is probably the only human being, and Nicolas Cage, I guess, as well, that just them tweeting something is a news story on Kind of Funny Games Daily more often than not, because there's always some conversation to be had here. Kojima tweets with our dear Nicolas Cage, and it's just a picture of him, the Ludus, I think it's called, their logo.
Is it Ludens?
Character, Ludens, and Nic Cage rocking another dope blazer.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about this?
I have to say that Nicolas Cage, in the span of a week, has probably become the best loved man in the video game industry. And I appreciate him getting up on stage. He seemed really cool and really like genuine. And that's a hard, it wasn't have some tequila, enjoy your gaming. It was like, I love that. And of course, this was going to happen.
Yeah.
This was inevitable.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when Jeff announced it, I was right at the back of the auditorium and I just stood up and shouted really loudly, "Bring him on, you coward!" And he did, and it made me very happy. Of course it was. Like, Hideo Kojima, man, he gets the big guns. And I know how many people in the film industry just are obsessed with him. I think I'd heard somewhere that like one of the main reasons they got Al Pacino to do the Game Awards was just because he wanted to meet Hideo Kojima. Like that's an incredible power. That's the power of that man who has been such a force in this industry that actors want to work with him and they want to meet him and they want to kind of celebrate what he does for video games, but what he does for entertainment as well.
So here's the question. Is Nicolas Cage in Death Stranding too?
100% confirmed. Look at that picture. Of course he is. What are you talking about?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really do. And
there is no way they came away from that meeting and they didn't get him to do something.
Something.
Like, even just getting body scans.
Yeah.
Just, like, it's similar to how Keeley was in DS1, where like he just shows up as a hologram. Like, 100% someone's going to find Nic Cage, and I can't wait to see the first person reveal that.
And they didn't have time, so he's going to look exactly like that. Like, he's going to turn up, and we're not going to explain it, and he's going to have the red glasses on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Oh, Ben. I don't know if Nicolas Cage is going to be in Death Stranding 2. Finding out, it's just so far away. If I want to know what's coming to mom and grop shops today, where would I look?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts, each and every weekday.
Yeah, he didn't even look at the fucking screen.
Can you cut to my one real quick? That was not on this. That's on a different page. He just did that from memory.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I've wanted to say that for years. And I say it sometimes. I mouth it with the people who say it. So yeah, thank you for letting me do that, everyone.
Oh, I love it so much. Out today. Oh, God. This one's from Mike. We have Crime Boss Rockay City on PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Wait, isn't that game out? How is it out again?
So here's the thing. When it got announced, it was like, all right, and then it's coming soon. And we're like, all right, cool. And then 2 weeks before it came out on PC, we were like, wait, that game's coming out in 2 weeks? And it did on PC. But no other platform, and it was just not talked about by anybody except for one Snowbike Mike Howard.
I love it. I love it. Jack Jean is on Switch. Layers of Fear 2023 on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. Dad by the Sword on PC. Park Beyond on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Fall of Porcupine everywhere. Heist Kitty on PC. Cool.
Yeah.
Jor-El's Brother and the Most Important Game of the Galaxy on PC. Pixel Ripped 1978 on PC and PS5. Wait a minute. What was the name of that VR game that we talked about earlier? Pixel Rip 1995.
Hey, they release one.
Is there a
every year.
Pixel Rip 1978 and
Apparently there is.
1995?
It's like Madden. They just release one every single year, and they have done it. They have done it for years, and we just don't know. The legacy of Pixel Rip goes way back.
That's really interesting. All right, and then Undawn on a. It looks. Is it the same thing?
He is ripped.
It seems to be the same concept, but yeah, just different decade.
Very bizarre. Undawn on mobile and PC. New dates for you. Koa and the Five Pirates of Mara launches on July 29th for Xbox One and Series X and S. PS4 and 5, Switch and PC. Deals of the day. The Epic Game Store's next free title has been announced. The Hunter Call of the Wild will be free to download from Epic's PC Marketplace from June 22nd to June 29th. Remember, if you're buying games on Epic Game Store, use Kind of Funny as the creator code. Even for free games, we still get paid. We still get money. So just use our code. They have free stuff. We get money. It's awesome.
Give Tim money.
Please.
He deserves money. Look at this man. He deserves it.
Deserve the money. All right, now it's time to go to kindoffunny.com/you're-wrong to see what we got wrong.
Nothing.
Let's see. Nanobiologist writes in and says Halloween Horror Nights has had several video game houses before. Silent Hill in 2012, Resident Evil in 2013, but only in Orlando, and 2 Resident Evil mazes, biohazard houses in 2015 and 2019 in Japan. Very cool. The game that you were talking about, it is called Save Room Organization Puzzle.
Save Room. That's what it is, yeah.
It came out on PC in April 2022 and on PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox November 11th.
Thank you.
Nano also says Kojima's mascot is Ludens. Ludens.
We did it, Nano. We did it. You and me.
All right, cool. Yeah, there we go. That's been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Ben, this has been utterly fantastic, but we're not done with you yet.
Are we not?
We have a whole day.
Yeah, we do.
We're hanging out. So right after this, we're about to do the live super chat thing where if you're watching over on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, you can leave your super chats, ask some questions for any story we talked about today, video games in general, or just any question you have for this beautiful man right here. So we're going to be doing that. And then stay tuned because after that, I mean, Andy's joining us right now, but after that, Andy, Mike, and Ben are going to be playing through the demo of Final Fantasy XVI, and then see where the adventure takes us all. So it's going to be a great time. You've been utterly fantastic. I want to let you know right now, this will not be the last time you're on the show.
Oh, are you kidding?
We might need to call you when it gets you on the wall. But
yeah.
You got to do this. You were born for this. You're born for many things.
Thank you.
You were born for this.
To be honest, I would gladly quit being an actor just so I could come and work part-time at Kind of Funny.
You know, if I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times. I would not advise it. I would not advise it at all.
But genuinely, thank you. And thank you to everyone who's watched. Like, it is an absolute honor to be here.
It is so cool. Everybody, Final Fantasy XVI out in just a few short weeks. No, that's not even true. It is out in a week.
1 week.
What, is it a week from today?
Oh, wow.
What day is it?
What day is it?
It's the 22nd, right? That it's coming out?
1 week.
Well, everyone play the demo until then.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Does the demo progress carry over to the main game?
Yes,
it does. Everybody.
It does.
Hey!
Yeah, it does.
You can get a little head start now. Well, anyways, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. We're each and every weekday live right here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. We run you through the nerdy video game news that you need to know. Until next time, I love you all. Goodbye. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
We're still alive. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Whoa.
Is that Andy or is that Noctis?
Wow. Wow. Wait.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Lovely to see you.
It's lovely to see you. My name is Cortezio. Hello. What's your name?
Tim.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm from the land of Texas. And where are you from?
I'm from Rosaria.
Rosaria. I've heard of that place before.
Clive Rossfield. Nice to meet you.
Rosaria, they've got that Applebee's on 6th Street, don't they? Hey guys, we're doing the super chat section. There's a lot of hair in the sink, by the way.
Oh my God, you cut your hair for this?
Cut my hair. Cut a lot of my hair. What's going on, everybody? Super chat section. Get your super chats in, everybody. Is Annie trying to look like Torgal? Okay, bro. Like, chill out. What are you talking about?
Looking good.
Come on, man. Tyler Brand says, I want to hear Ben's American accent with a $5 super chat.
Okay. What do you want me to say? The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily show hosts each and every weekday.
Beautiful. That's really good. Once the Brits do, like, once they, like, are no longer saying and they say R, it's the coolest shit ever. It's the coolest shit ever. Let's get your super chats in, everybody, so we can talk to Ben right here, getting some questions. Oh, my goodness, a $50 super chat.
What do you need me to do?
from Seth Sanders and says,
Wow, that's the most money I've ever been given.
says, hey, kind of funny. This is the first time I ever messaged y'all. Just want to say thank you for what you do. All you have gotten me through hard times. We don't deserve how much content you make for us. Thank you for all of the hard work. No
Wow.
problem.
Seth.
That's no problem.
Thank you so much.
Seth, that's incredibly kind, isn't it?
Very, very nice.
I think that's a lot, though. I think you guys don't necessarily recognize, because you get that instant feedback from the people that like constantly watch you and interact with you. But there are so many people who don't, who you do kind of change the lives of. Like, I've listened to you guys, but I haven't like messaged or anything. But every single day I've interacted with you guys, and I feel like I know you in that level. And I think the power that you guys have kind of transcends the immediate feedback that maybe you get from the people that do interact with you on a daily basis. So it doesn't surprise me that people like Seth.
I mean, there is the reality to it. And like, I feel like this only gets more and more true as time goes on, where it's like, we do this, there's a vibe, we hang out, we're friends, we talk to people. And then when we meet so many people, so many times, within 1 second, I'm like, oh yeah, we can talk about anything. Like meeting you this weekend felt like I knew you forever.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like immediately we're able to just talk about anything that we both like, don't like, doesn't matter. It's like we're friends. And I think that there's a power there to the authenticity of just hanging out and like just like being honest, being nice, caring about each other, kind of looking out for each other and like calling out bullshit. I don't know, when you do that, there's a like-minded kind of positivity that just goes around that like Summer Game Fest. I'm never going to stop glowing about this thing. That was like one of the best weeks of my life.
That was a great time.
It was just so good being
It was a
able
great
to
time.
see everyone, especially after years of not being able to have that in person and like to see people that I haven't seen for years or meet so many people for the first time. It was just like, oh yeah, wow. Like I know you from the internet and then you meet them in real life and you're like, oh, now I just know you.
Yeah. I think that was so interesting. A lot of what I found of meeting people who I've looked up to for so long is a lot of people said to me, oh, I feel nervous. I feel like a sense of imposter syndrome that I don't believe that I deserve to be here. And then the moment that they step in and start talking to their peers, they
I've
recognize.
never felt that in my life.
No, I know you're an absolute Chad all the way. But like that, some people do feel that, and you know, then you get to meet you guys, right? I felt so nervous meeting you guys. Like I was so nervous talking to you when I first met you.
Really?
Yes.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
You played it off great. As a good actor.
Yeah.
As a good actor.
But
He's a great actor.
yeah, I just think you guys are awesome. So I'm going to keep blowing smoke up your ass for the next half an hour.
Thank you. I'll take it. It's a little harder to pull off this haircut, Timothy, when you're dealing with male pattern baldness. Timothy. It's a lot
also,
more difficult.
Just to answer, yes, I did use the phrase time to penis when talking about Tears of the Kingdom because, I mean, everyone was on the internet that week, right? Like it was impossible not to see a wooden board with a penis shooting fire out of it.
I do think that was unfortunately when we were kind of down and then coming back on the internet and then coming down.
Oh, they saw it.
So I think it was just the phrase was heard out of context.
That's awesome. That's even better.
Great. Perfect.
Hyder700 says, after ATSV?
Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, I'm itching to see. For some reason, I saw like Activision, and also that looks like an ATV racing game that came out like on PS2. I'm interested to see Insomniac's take on Spider-Gwen. Your thoughts? Ideally, they introduce her naturally without multiverse, like Miles.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, why not? I think you've got the Insomniac verse of their games, and everyone just kind of wants to see their interpretation because they've pretty much nailed every single character. I think.
Yeah,
they've just like you just want to play it. Spider-Man 2 looks amazing. I'd give Insomniac anything. They just make it look so cool, sound so cool, play so well. Yeah, go for it.
I think we're in an interesting. I mean, Spider-Man is my shit. Like I am so into Spider-Man, whether it's the comics, the games, the movies, everything. And I feel like, especially when we have Gwen, Ghost Spider, like that character, most people now know Miles and her from the Into the Spider-Verse movies, but then also because of Insomniac introducing Miles so early into the lore. I feel like that's another great kind of entry point for people and understanding of who that character is. And because Insomniac has such a talented team of writers and storytellers that have clearly consumed so much and care so much about true Spider-Man lore, I think they're able to have fun with things and not have it be how it was before, which the first game does a lot. Miles Morales does a lot. I would love to see a Gwen. I'm with you. I don't want multiverse stuff. Like I feel like we're so multiversed out right now, and I'm a sucker for that. But I feel like we can get that Gwen character in the Insomniac universe in a more
real.
original way that,
Yeah.
that could be pretty cool.
Well, they know what they're doing. Like when I can't remember who the creative director of Spider-Man 2 is, but when he came up,
Brian Intihar.
yeah, he came up on stage, right, and they were talking about what Venom is, and Venom, they're saying it's not Tony Todd. Tony Todd, am I right?
Eddie Brock.
Eddie Brock.
Tony Todd's the voice.
There you go. Yeah, thank you. That's why. It's not Eddie Brock. It's something else, and how like exciting that's going to be. And it teased it, right? Going, it's going to be our own interpretation of Venom in this universe, and I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Crush the Lemon says, or give me a Silk game. I think that's another really cool opportunity that Insomniac has to introduce the world to another Spider character that I know from the comics, but a lot of people probably aren't familiar with, and she could be pretty damn rad, and I think that could work very well.
I have a question for you.
Could get weird, though.
Did you ever watch the 1970s live-action movies of
No,
Spider-Man?
I did not.
They are out. That's how I was introduced to Spider-Man. They are like so 70s. Like he has like a little watch on his wrist that shoots out like really like low resolute, like really bad silly string. It's really worth watching, and like him, he just kind of like jumps onto stuff like that, and then they don't have the budget to do anything else. So literally just sits on the floor half the time. And yeah, would recommend.
How did you have access to that? Because I imagine like Wanda in the Avengers, like how her family was kind of like they were just used to watching old shit, you know?
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke Show and stuff.
Yeah.
This is it. This is so good. I watched it. We just had it on British TV, and I think my family
sick.
had, I don't have it. Look at it.
So funny.
Where did he go?
This was
Nobody could tell.
I used to pretend that I was this Spider-Man when I was a kid.
So Spider-Verse, when it was first in the comics in 2014, like that whole concept, this Spider-Man was so in Into the Spider-Verse. There's Penny Parker, who has like the mech. This character had a mech and like was in the comics that way, which was pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Somebody in the chat said Hispanic at the disco. Like, come on, bullshit. Gary the Third with a $5 super chat says, Tim, I need you to read Robert Kirkman's Void Rivals comic that just came out without Googling why. It's a Tim Geddes ass book. Can't wait for FF16.
I've had that exact statement said to me about 10 times. I am going to do that. Please do not spoil it for me, anybody. I will 100% read this.
Nanobiologist with a $5 super chat says, hey, Ben, can we be friends? You're too dang cool. Nailed it today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we can totally be friends. For $5, absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe triple that next time.
No, I'm
Nick,
a very cheap guy. I just like, I'm good. I'm good. $5.
Yeah,
I'm
I can
fine.
be bought too.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Jeff Grubb in the chat saying I'm #1 Ben Starr fan.
Yeah, I met Jeff this week, and so nice. Like, such a nice guy. Yeah, I had a lovely time. So thank you, Jeff, for being really kind when I was on the Giant Bomb couch. That was really, really awesome.
Jeff, since I know you're listening, I was trying to find you on the last day
Okay. I'm Noctis, man.
of Game Fest, and I didn't get to. I know I already told you a million times, but I want to tell you one more time. I am so impressed with what you did last week. The Giant Bomb couch was incredible. Such a welcoming place for everybody to just be there and hang out. Such good content. You worked so hard. Take care of yourself, buddy. Hats off to you, dude.
Yeah, Jeff was talking for at least 60 hours straight.
Yeah. Dangerous levels.
And also,
Mara.
he just kept it under control the whole time.
Yeah.
Which I thought was so impressive. Like it was kind of manic, but he was like, "No, I'm going to get through it," and it was fun, but also
It was really impressive. Mara with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Mara. Says, finishing up my last day of work before 11 days off. What a way to kick off my vacation. Ben, you were incredible today, and your performance in Final Fantasy XVI demo left me in tears. Top 3 Final Fantasies?
Wow. There you go. I couldn't possibly say. I'm excited because when we made this game, I obviously know everything about it, and I've known everything about it for a really long time. So you lose a sense of how it's going to play with everyone, and I forget that everyone doesn't know everything that's going to happen in this game. So I'm watching people play it, and I'm watching reactions, and they don't know. And I'm not going to say what happens in it, but they don't know the content of what happens, and they leave it in a really brilliant place of like, hey, if you want to know what happens next, play on. And it feels like you are watching a brilliant interactive TV show for an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's like we haven't had Game of Thrones in a while. We haven't had, that kind of like a point of view, medieval, grim fantasy. This is your answer to that, and it plays out a lot like that, right? It goes to places that you wouldn't expect the Final Fantasy to go to, while still staying true to the formula that is set up 35 years ago.
So obviously, let's not include 16. I'm not asking you what are the best Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
What are your 3 Final Fantasies?
Top 3 Final Fantasies. Final Fantasy VIII,
I love that for you. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's the first one. It's the first one I played. Final Fantasy 12, and probably 10. Now, please bear in mind that I'm not saying that the other ones are not good. I adore.
Sounds like that's what you said.
Yeah,
though.
sorry, I hate all the other ones.
Yeah.
No, but I love. I that's me just kind of saying what I would like because I really got obsessed with 12. I really got obsessed with 10. Like those, I put like 150 hours in each. 9, I think, is the most magical, and I think that it's a game that when I think about, I go, wow, that's a timeless Final Fantasy game.
Oh, absolutely.
A timeless game, and I think it has aged brilliantly. And I think 9 maybe is the Final Fantasy game that has aged the best from that era, just because of the art style and everything. But yeah, the ones that really resonated with me, like that moment when you found out in 10, like when you as a person found out what the true fate of what the final summoning was going to be.
Oh.
I just got chills right now.
Yeah, when you think about it, I didn't expect that to come, and that is one of the top moments in Final Fantasy ever,
Oh,
in
I
video
totally
games
agree.
ever for me.
10 was my first Final Fantasy, and it will always be a special game to me. Ben, that moment and everything from that moment on in that game, it's like I often just pull up YouTube and just watch that final hour just to be like, just when I need to feel something.
Yeah, but also you've also always got to give a shout out to 6, because I think
Of course.
what 6 did for just the RPG genre and how it set this template. Like it's the 2D 60 or whatever. What was it? 16-bit? I think maybe not. Yes, 16-bit RPG. Right. It's so expansive. The story that it tells is so much bigger than the graphical fidelity of what it creates. You're able to fill in the gaps because these characters are so vivid, and it's also heartbreaking. And then what it does and what Kefka does in that game is so groundbreaking in the way that it literally shapes the world. I can't imagine being a kid at whatever 10 or 9 and playing that for the first time and it really changing your world. And hopefully 16 does that for people. You know, they've never played a Final Fantasy game before. They don't know what to expect. They come into this one and they go, wow, I've never experienced anything like that. It's like, well, how about you go back and play the 15 other ones?
What's it like saying fuck in a Final Fantasy?
It was really jarring. It was really jarring, but really enjoyable as well. You didn't want to get it wrong, but a lot of the fucks.
You got to give a fuck. You know?
Yeah, you've got to give a fuck.
Fuck. Oh, can I get 2 more on that one?
Genuinely, it was like that. It was like, I mean, it's like, wow, that was me. You're swearing, and you don't want it to just be. The writers were very specific about not wanting there just to be a swear word every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because that could have happened, right? And then it's just like you're watching a 10-year-old try and pretend that they're really old and just swearing at you. It was like, let's make these fucks matter.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think you've seen it in the Garuda fight, right? Like not the Garuda fight, the Benedicta fight. Like Clive really struggles in that fight. And so it was really fun to say those F-bombs and drop them.
What was your favorite line from the demo?
You cock!
It was a great line.
Shout out to Nina Indis, who is fantastic as Benedicta as well.
Marshall in the chat says, why are all voice actors so good looking? Thank you. Appreciate that. Very kind of you.
There you are, Andy.
Okay, bro. Jesus. We got Tyler Butcher with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Tyler Butcher. No message, just want to leave a super chat. Mr. Hawks with a $5 super chat says, as the lead of Final Fantasy XVI, could you give us a reading of the greatest line of dialogue in Final Fantasy history? I obviously mean Tidus laughing in Final Fantasy X.
Okay. Do you want me to do that?
That's it. Let's do it. This is your audition for 17.
Ha 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 ha!
Thank you.
There you go.
Now, here's the thing. I want to throw some respect to my boy Tidus' name.
Yeah.
All right? I feel like oftentimes, that line, every time, it's out of context. You haven't played Final
Completely
Fantasy X,
misinterpreted.
right?
I have,
So you see that and you're like, wow, this is horrible, right? It's supposed to be. Like, in the context, he's like fucking around with Yuna and trying to make her laugh. Like he's like purposefully being bad. Like when you take that out of context, it makes it look horrible, but it's actually a good moment.
Also, James Arnold Taylor is one of the best voice actors in the business of all time.
What's the Ratchet? From Ratchet and Clank.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Holy
Tidus.
shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Range. That's range.
Voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars.
That's true.
That's a very good tidbit you have there, Barrett. It's another
Why aren't
audition
you
we
in
have.
it?
Are we watching a
It's
New Hope
bullshit.
right now?
It's bullshit. Oren with a $5 super chat says, "What's your favorite icon ability? Then what do you believe in? Then what do you believe in Clive's between Garuda, Titan, and Phoenix? Then what?
Oh, like
is Clive? Sorry, I misread that. Oren, that's my bad. The hair got in my way.
So what do I believe is Clive's favorite? And my favorite, and what do I believe is Clive's favorite? Clive's favorite will always be the Phoenix, because that's the power that was given to him by his brother. 100% always. Mine, I love the way the Titan power plays out. With like when you're playing it, I feel that like the fact that you have to like hold the button down and get it into that, there's just something incredibly pleasurable about timing a really good hit. And it just feels different, and the Titan block is so satisfying to do. So yeah, I love Titan. Also, I love the noises that we made when we did Titan. Like it's all like it's like heavy metal vocals that I completely rinsed my voice on.
2-month recovery.
Yeah.
Downey Downerson with a $5 super chat says, "How close does this get us to having Johnny Ace in Final Fantasy? Any day now. Any day now, I'd say, Tim.
Unfortunately.
Hold on, let me just refresh because these super chats are just YouTube. Come on, get your shit together, you know. Next $5 super chat from the Portland Kevin says, "Did Ben use the phrase 'time to penis' when talking about Tears
Yes,
of the
I
Kingdom?"
did.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Simply because that was all that was coming up on my timeline, as I didn't have the game, so all I saw were just like boards with penises coming out of it, and it just got more and more elaborate, and I very much appreciated the internet for that.
Another $5 super chat from Tyler Butcher with no message once again, just shopping a little
Thank you, Tyler.
five ski. I already read that one. Kaylee with $5 says, "Hey Ben, you killed it. Other than Final Fantasy, what is a franchise you would love to voice a character in?"
Metal Gear Solid.
Oh wow.
Some of the best voices in just video game history come from that. Like everyone loves to be like Metal Gear, like that, right?
Yeah.
David Hayter is an inspiration, and just what an amazing series of video games, and what an amazing series of like different textures of voices. You can tell that the actors have fun doing that. Like it's perfectly on the hammy camp, but also steadily serious. It's love it.
Real quick, Tyler Washington in the chat says, "Tim, tell Ben how much you hate the name Clive." I just gotta call it what it is. The name Clive, I will never get over.
That's okay.
But the quality of the character, you play that demo and you tell me it's not a great
No,
game.
right.
It is. Name? I don't know, guys. I just don't know.
I really like in the Salvation trailer where they played it at the PlayStation Showcase, where if you didn't like the name Clive, tough shit, because they say it like 10 times. They're like, Clive. Rah! Yeah.
And then your homies Trent and whatever that other fucking guy's name is.
So Tyler and Sir Wade.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tyler and Wade. Yeah, Wade Johnson. Like let's get some fucking, Nocturus or something like that. I know it's already been done.
I've been fascinated by people's distaste towards the name
Benedicta's a
Clive.
good one.
Yeah.
Like Susie who plays Jill, and I did have a joke that kind of it's like Uncle Clive and Auntie Jill from down the road initially. But I did an interview with Eurogamer, and I mean what I said. Like Clive is just a name until Clive stepped into it, nicking it from the amazing film Air, where Viola Davis says that about Michael Jordan, because I get it. It seems like a jarring name, but it's about a human being that embodies that. And hopefully we're making Clive sexy. So
Straight up. You're bringing Clive back.
Yeah.
Foxy Steve with a $5 super chat says, "Awesome show. Question for Ben: Did you draw any outside inspirations for your performance of Final Fantasy XVI? It sounds so grounded and realistic."
Yeah, I did. I mean, listen, let's get real. So this game means a lot to me. Fuck it, I'll say it. My dad died in the making of this video game, and there's a lot of loss that Clive goes through. And I'm sorry to get heavy, but it's true. But it's amazing how much this game allowed me to process that loss and channel that loss into something good and creative. And the team were incredibly good at allowing me to be as expressive as I possibly could. And so, yeah, like when you're hearing some of that stuff, that's kind of real because of that. And Clive, crazy name, saved my life. Like this game saved my life. The last time I ever spoke to my dad was on the way to recording this game. He was the guy who first bought me Final Fantasy VIII. He is the guy that supported me through who's the person that you look up to the most. And that loss was devastating and it destroyed me. But this game helped me just build myself. Or it was that armor, right? That I felt that I could get
like a phoenix.
rise like a phoenix. So yeah, I'm trying to vocalize it, get it out there as much as possible, because I really want him and his memory to kind of be remembered as much as possible. And he is so much a part of the fabric of this game and the fabric of who Clive is. And I wouldn't be here doing this if it wasn't for him, because he wouldn't have bought me that game. He wouldn't have changed my life in that way. And so, yeah, so that's why if it feels raw, a lot of the stuff as the game goes on, it's also raw. Like it's that, and it's him. So he's in this game as much as I am.
That's a beautiful story. I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm especially sorry for if this gets ever clipped out and I'm looking like this while you're telling that beautiful story.
It's absolutely fine. That's how I'd want you to look. So I appreciate that.
It's going to be aggregated on all these websites, and here I am just looking like a fucking idiot. $5 super chat from Dog Nick asks, what was it like working with Ralph Ineson?
So, first of all, his name is Ralph Ineson.
Ineson, sorry.
No, but I was calling him Ralph Ineson for years to his face, and he never changed it. And he went, Ben, it's Ineson. I'm like, wow, Ralph, that took years. Amazing. That man has just, first of all, the voice of, it's the most identifiable voice you can imagine. And he sounds like that.
The voice of Sid in the game.
He's also in Diablo 4 at the moment as well. Like, he is, and he'd only really done voice acting when we first started doing, he did Black Flag as well. He did mocap on Black Flag. He was a character in that. And then he did 16 and then did Diablo 4. And I don't know if he's doing any other games. I'm sure they're NDA'd, but he's got such an identifiable voice. He's also just an amazing actor in general and a lovely, lovely human. He was out in LA for the launch event, and that man loves to drink. I love to drink. We had a lovely time together. He's like a brother really to me, and I love him very much. So yeah, it was a real awesome experience.
$2 from King Ryan James says, Tim, have you seen the Nitro deck yet?
Yeah, I got one pre-ordered. This is another Switch Joy-Con alternative thing. It's like the less Joy-Cons, it's more like a
whole back,
one whole back thing, which I'm not super sold on, like that concept, but I want to give this one a shot.
I was very shocked by, I got tagged in this a lot, and I thought they were just saying like, Andy, the Nitro rifle colors, look at it, and then I saw it's called the Nitro deck. Like, my lawyers who don't exist will be hearing about this.
Yeah.
Justin M with a $2 super chat says, can we get a kill chaos from everyone?
Yeah.
When are we gonna kill chaos?
When are we gonna kill chaos?
Let's kill chaos, guys.
There it is. You're the third guy.
Yeah.
You're fucking.
Hey, let's kill chaos.
Whatever
maybe.
his name was.
I don't know. Maybe we'll kill some chaos if we could. Is that okay?
$5 from Tyler Butcher says, love you all. Ben, awesome job today. I was wondering if you could repeat the line from the end of the demo. I'll kill you. You can't because of union work.
Because of union work, yeah. Also, it would destroy my voice. Yeah. That was a one-take wonder.
Yeah.
However, in the Awakening demo, the first demo, not the demo, the trailer that we ever released in the showcase back in 2020, I remember recording a line which was, "I'll kill you if it's the last thing I do." That wasn't in the game. That was going to be in the game, but it was specifically for the trailer. But Koji and I recorded two versions of the line, which is, "I'll kill you if it's the last thing I do," and "I'll kill you, I'll fucking kill you." And we recorded that because we thought, wouldn't it be cool if in the first trailer for Final Fantasy XVI, you hear the lines, "I'll kill you, I'll fucking kill you." They really wanted to make that impact. And we ended up not taking it, which I was disappointed by, but it gives so much more impact when you hear it in the game.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned, you're talking about we just brought up like that union work thing, and it reminds me of I had DM'd David Hayter. I was like, hey, can I DM you really quick? So he was like, yeah, sure. So you open his DMs up, and I was like, I really want to pay for a cameo because I want you to be the voice that thanks new subscribers on my Twitch.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I would love to. I just can't do that because of union stuff. Like sorry, I don't do that for people in that way. And I've had a lot of people ask about stuff like that. But like, I'm usually just doing like congratulations on getting married and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a while where I was like, will my subscription thing just be like, congratulations on graduating? You just graduated from college, huh? And that just pops up every time there's a little subscription. $10 from, three Indian rupees from Pulak Kumar says, hey, Ben, really interested in seeing where Clive's story goes, and I hope it ends like Metal Gear Solid 5, where Clive stays his hand, but some other douchebag anticlimactically kills the bad guy instead. Let's not shit talk MGS5, okay?
Let's just not.
It was a tortured development, and it's one of the best feeling video games of all time.
It's the fact that that was both a PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 4 game is mad.
It really is.
It's
and we don't
mad.
talk about that
we
enough.
do not talk that is a cross-gen game. That is what they were doing. I have no idea, but that is amazing, and it played well on the PS3 as well.
And it looked incredible.
Yep.
Like, I bet you if people looked at a YouTube video of the PS3 version, they wouldn't know they're not looking at the PS4 version. Just on first, if it was next to it, you'd know. But if you just looked at the PS3, it was gorgeous.
Ground Zeroes was the first game I ever played on my PS4, and then obviously Phantom Pain. I got a PS4 for MGS5.
Toby Blue with a $5 says, Ben, you killed on your first episode of many. How did you first get into gaming? What are your top 3 favorite games?
Oh, top 3 favorite games. Probably the games that I played on the PS1, PS2 era, because they're the games that kind of changed my life, right? So it would be Final Fantasy VIII, probably Metal Gear Solid 3, and maybe Mass Effect 2.
Oh my God.
Man's got taste.
Just maybe, but that's like,
You're going to make it in this industry.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, those games probably.
Mumangu Gaming. Hey, Ben, if you could voice any character in any game past, present, or future, what would it be? Thanks, FF, for the wonderful stuff you do.
I would have loved to voice. I could never have done it well enough, but I would love to have voiced Nathan Drake. Like, I just love Nathan Drake. I think Nathan Drake is, I know Janet thinks he's a bit of a douchebag, but like, he's a cool character. I'd love to have done.
He's great. He's great. Don't listen to Janet.
Yeah, I love Nathan Drake. So
the coolest thing that I've never fanboyed more is when we went to PSX, and it was my first year working at Kinda Funny, and there was the Uncharted panel, and Nathan Drake was on stage. It was Nolan North was on stage, and he was like, look, I'm doing he was like, I can do the mocap for you. And he turned around and put his back towards us. And he just did like the idol Nathan Drake thing. And I was like, oh my God, that's so fucking sick. It was so awesome.
Cool. Is he a nice guy? He seems like a nice guy.
Oh, he's a lovely dude.
Imagine, no, he's not. He's awful.
No, Nolan's great. Nolan's so awesome.
Aegis Alex says,
Nolan's the type of guy, whenever you hang out with him, like it's very similar to Troy, if you guys have seen Troy on our shows, where within 5 minutes, he will talk to you in 15 different accents or voices. Like it's always just animated. It's always something.
It's like what I expect it was like talking to Robin Williams back in the day.
Yeah.
Where Robin was hitting you with all sorts of different voices and silly shit.
I think to have that muscularity and that control of your voice is absolutely amazing. And it takes not just skill, but dedication to your craft. And I really think that he is a shining example, as there are many shining examples in this industry of people who are so, like Andy here, dedicated to like that and bringing like entertainment in a variety of ways. And you get movie stars who do a brilliant job, but like there are people out there, Jennifer Hale, like she was Rivet, like that is just the fact that they have that versatility within their voice to kind of like sell us a character, make us believe them, but also kind of make us fall in love with them. It blows me away every time. Aegis
Alex says, is that voice actor Andy Cortez from Tales of the Stinky Dragon? Sure is. I was on did a little D&D over the weekend. $10 super chat from ABS says, Clive versus Starkiller, who'd win?
Oh my! I mean, I think it would be a pretty titanic battle between the two people, and I'd certainly watch it. So make it happen. I think Starkiller would probably just try and crush me with some sort of like, I don't know, like what are they? Big Star Wars things, like
Star Destroyer.
Just Star Destroyer, yeah. Just like get 2 Star Destroyers and try and crush me. But like Clive would just turn into an icon and try and crush him.
Let's do a quick fire round for these final ones.
Okay, great.
Toasty Penguin, $5 super chat says, hi Ben, as a Joshua, should I change my message tone to you screaming Joshua, or would that be a bit too much?
I can't scream it, but I can say it a couple of ways.
No, I think they're just saying like, should I just record like you from the video game You know, like,
yeah, just record me from the game.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that'd be
I say
fantastic.
it enough times, but like I would joke in the recording booth about the amount of times I say Joshua, because it would be like Joshua. Like that.
That was good. That was
So
good.
yeah, I quite enjoyed it.
And if you have a friend named Jason, do Jason. You can put that in there. $5 from Flying Penguin says, Ben, can you recite a line in your favorite movie as Clive?
Yeah, I'm gonna do Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman as Clive.
Oh.
Big mistake. Huge.
Nick would love this guy. Nick would fucking love this guy. Because I was hoping for some Steven Seagal, honestly. Ricky Maru with a $5 super chat says, hey, Ben, you don't need to confirm or deny, but if Clive were to show up as a guest character in other games, would you voice him?
I have no idea.
They got to drop the bag, baby.
Yeah,
I'm his agent now.
Just Andy's got to get something.
Yeah. If
he
I'm like,
cut
that's
his hair for this.
not enough money for him, but I'll take the role.
Yeah, you can pay Andy for me to do other stuff in other games.
$10 from Failure to Think says, you guys missed a 310 super chat. Oh, no, I read that one. That one just like came later in the list. $10 from Malaka Champ says, Ben, we love you, man. You did a great job. Thanks for doing the show and sharing that touching story. Also, love the look you're rocking, Andy. What look? What are you talking about? Casino Royale with cheese with the final super chat. $5 says, happy day to you all. Here is my last $5 for the amazing episode of Ben. Gonna survive on toothpaste and dental floss for the week. Cheers. Well, thank you. I hope you get the kids' toothpaste, one that kind of tastes like berries. They're saying like, you know, they can't afford food now because they gave us a super chat.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Did you ever like just eat the kids' Colgate toothpaste? When I was a kid, I would always just like.
I had the fear of God in me
tasty.
about eating toothpaste. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, remember when Scruff McGruff came to school and was just like, hey, don't do drugs? I said, okay, I won't. And that
I
was
was
the
like,
end
was it
of
the Forest Fires guy?
that. That was Smokey the
Well,
Bear.
the guy who started Forest
They
Fire.
were homies.
Yeah.
But Smokey the Bear.
Don't do drugs.
I was like,
You
cool, I'm
decided
not
the Forest
doing
Fire.
Wait,
drugs.
you got Scruff McGruff? I got a police officer with Dare.
Oh, yeah, no, I got
No, I had
Scruff
Scruff McGruff.
dude.
Yeah.
And he came with Pokemon booster packs, and I got a Mewtwo, and I was like,
fuck?
come on, man. Yeah, so
That's
no
pretty
drugs
lit.
for me.
Sucks.
Thanks for this
yeah.
super chat segment, everybody. We appreciate all of your support, and don't go anywhere because we are headed into the lab right now because Snowbike Mike will be diving into the Final Fantasy XVI demo.
Oh, man.
I was asked a million times, Andy, you're going to play it. I feel like I've played it enough, and now Mike is going to get his chance to see what this game's all about. Hopefully, we can get to the end in the time that we have. But thank you once again, Ben, for joining us.
Thank
Tim,
you.
did a phenomenal job. I didn't watch the show. I'm sorry.
was
We'll
good
see you in
one.
a bit, everybody. Stay tuned and click that new YouTube link.
Yo, what the heck is going